Max Verstappen wants answers from Red Bull after Miami mayhem, and honestly, who can blame him? Max Verstappen might have walked away from Miami with pole position, but if you think he was celebrating with a coconut drink under a palm tree, think again. Behind that intense stare and post-qualifying fist pump was a driver absolutely fuming at his team. And no, it wasn't because of the humidity. It was pure, 100%, Red Bull-fueled frustration. Let's start with what went right. Verstappen blazed through qualifying with a lap that screamed, "I'm still the king around here," landing him on pole ahead of Lando Norris and Mercedes boy wonder Kimi Antonelli. All good so far, right? Well, not exactly. The chaos started earlier in the day during the sprint race. Verstappen picked up a 10-second penalty, which in Formula 1 terms is basically being forced to sit in the corner and think about what you've done. He went from running up front to crossing the finish line in a rather humbling 17th place. To add insult to injury, he rolled across the line behind a safety car. No points. No glory. Just a lot of steam under that helmet. But wait, the plot thickens. Because the real drama wasn't even the penalty. It was the pit lane pitfall that looked like something out of a low-budget action film. As the track dried and slick tires became the weapon of choice, Verstappen dove into the pits. Nothing strange about that. He was given the green light to exit after his tires were fitted. Except, surprise, here comes Kimi Antonelli cruising into his own pit box. And boom, contact. Verstappen's front left wheel connected with Antonelli's right rear like they were auditioning for a demolition derby. The wheel cover on the Mercedes? Obliterated. Shards of carbon fiber rained down like confetti at a very unfortunate wedding. Antonelli, poor guy, had to abandon his stop. This wasn't just a bump, this was a race-altering, hope-destroying mess. He'd started the sprint on pole. He ended up with shattered parts and shattered dreams. And Verstappen? Well, he didn't hold back. "This is something we need to investigate," he said. And by investigate, we're pretty sure he meant, somebody better explain how I almost turned Kimi's car into a carbon fiber jigsaw puzzle. It's not the first pit lane mistake of the season. And at this point, Antonelli's pit crew probably feels like they're cursed by some ancient F1 deity. You qualify first, only to get smacked in the pits? That's not bad luck, that's just tragicomic. To make matters worse, Verstappen wasn't even the one who initiated the near miss. He was told it was clear. He trusted the call. But the result? Well, let's just say it didn't exactly scream, well-oiled machine. Red Bull team principal Christian Horner was quickly asked to weigh in. Did he promise an investigation? An overhaul of pit procedures? A full forensic analysis? Nope. It was a human error. We'll learn from it, he said. Which sounds a lot like, let's all pretend this didn't happen and move on before Max flips a table. To be fair, Horner's job is part strategist, part politician, part fire extinguisher. And on days like this, he probably wishes his fire suit came with hazard pay. Verstappen, despite being visibly annoyed, kept things relatively diplomatic. He admitted he was grateful no one was injured, not himself, not Antonelli, and not the pit crews caught in the crossfire of that high-speed pit lane fender bender. Which, let's be honest, is something we should all be thankful for. Flying carbon fiber is no joke. But still, Max clearly wasn't going to let this one slide. You could practically hear the gears turning in his head, probably plotting a PowerPoint for Monday's team debrief titled, "How Not to Pit Your Star Driver into a Moving Object." And yet, in true Verstappen fashion, he didn't let the chaos define his day. He came back out and delivered a scorching qualifying performance. He outpaced Norris. He parked it on pole. Because when all else fails, just be faster than everyone else. It's a solid strategy. Now, here's the kicker. Despite taking pole, thanks to the sprint race shenanigans, Verstappen is still 19 points behind Oscar Piastri in the standings. And 10 behind Lando Norris. Which means Sunday's race isn't just another race. It's a must-win. A redemption arc. A dramatic comeback waiting to happen. Because let's face it, Max doesn't do second place gracefully. And he certainly doesn't do pit stop drama with a smile. His patience for team errors is about as thin as a carbon fiber front wing. One more mistake and we might see Max taking over pit lane management himself. So what did we learn from all this? Well, pit stops are still chaotic works of art, or disasters, depending on who's directing the ballet. Red Bull, despite having arguably the best driver on the grid, is not immune to tripping over its own shoelaces. And Kimi Antonelli deserves some sort of medal for not losing his cool after yet another pit-related disaster. Also, never, and we mean never, assume Max Verstappen will just let it go. That's not how this champion operates. He'll take pole, chew out the strategy team, and still find a way to lead headlines. All in one afternoon. Welcome to Miami, where the weather is unpredictable, the tires are slick, and the tempers. Oh, they're blazing. And Verstappen? He's not just racing for wins. He's racing for answers. And probably considering becoming his own race engineer while he's at it.